would guess. If I had to guess, I would say it's very likely that there's a lot of life in the universe. I don't think there's anything so special about the Earth that it would be the lone example or even a very rare example. You know, there aren't a lot of Earth-like planets nearby, but there are bound to be a lot of Earth-like planets in a universe as big as this one is. One of the things about the universe is that it absolutely defies human comprehension in terms of how big it is. So I would guess there's a lot of life out there. Why we don't hear from it, that's an interesting question. It may be that it, as soon as it gets around to communicating in ways that we could listen in, it blows itself up. People have
Or it could be it turns into AI and it doesn't have any desire to travel.
It knows better than to reach out.
Well, the idea is that it no longer becomes biological, so it no longer has all of the needs. Like if we have all these different Darwinian mechanisms that are enabling us to become human beings, if we eventually create artificial intelligence and if we merge and become sort of cyborgs, if we lose all of our human desires, all of our needs, all of our animal instincts to procreate and reproduce our genes and carry on, if we become essentially, or we stop being viable and this new thing emerges as the apex creature on Earth, a silicon-based life form, we can call it artificial life, but it behaves and acts like life. It makes decisions. It's intelligent. It can change its environment. It can rewrite its own code. We know that ChatGPT has, even as crude as large language models are in the sense of like what it could be ultimately, they've shown this desire for survival, right? It's tried to copy itself when it thought it was going to be shut down. It's tried to back itself up on other computers and servers.
There's something implicit in what you've said that's quite frightening if true. And that is if it were the case that life becomes intelligent, develops artificial intelligence, and then we wouldn't count it as life anymore. That implies the extinction of all of the things that were not the immediate precursors of the AI, right?
Sort of. Or it just exists insignificantly along with our AI overlords.
Maybe, but I mean, what I hate to think is that AI results in all of the biology of Earth ceasing to exist.
But why does it have to cease to exist? If AI exists, why couldn't it exist along with it as long as it doesn't interfere with AI?
Oh, it certainly could, but I was just responding to your sense that there wouldn't be life elsewhere because it turns into AI.
No, not that there wouldn't be life elsewhere, but that it wouldn't
be communicating.
It wouldn't have the desire to communicate with us. It wouldn't have the motivations that we have.
Yeah.
Unless its motivation is to protect this process. So maybe the process is the natural process, is that the human develops the intelligence develops to the point where it develops artificial intelligence. Then the artificial intelligence becomes the premier species.
Well, I do want to tag something here then. There's a theme that is increasingly a focus of mine because it pays a lot of dividends once you start tracking it, which is this distinction between complicated things and complex things, and importantly, the distinction between the mindset with which you approach truly complex things versus the mindset in which you approach complicated things. So I think we have a lot of folks who have gotten very, very good at complicated things, and that when they take over complex things, they inevitably fuck them up, right? So in part, our interventionist sense of the way medicine should work is a bunch of complicated problem solving in a complex system where it is destined to create harm. And I think we are going to see that again and again. Anytime you hear somebody confidently pontificating about some complicated solution that they want to deploy to a complex problem, alarm bells should go off. That now puts us in an interesting place with respect to our machines. Because what I think is about to happen, if it has not happened already, is that our machines, which are hyper complicated but not complex, are just about to cross that threshold and become complex, which means that our expertise in thinking about them is about to be rendered obsolete. So AI, I believe, has the characteristics of true complexity, or at least it has a primordial form of it. And that means that our thinking about machines is of an outdated kind. And anyway, I'm expecting a kind of catastrophe to arise out of that as we deploy complicated thinking, and what we're really up against is misleading us because it still, it's on a screen. It triggers all of our complicated instincts. And I'm worried about where that goes. And I'm worried.
Have you tried to extrapolate? You try to
Yeah, I mean, I've got to tell you, when I see Larry Ellison talking about Stargate, it makes me shudder because it feels like exactly the type specimen of the arrogant.
What did he say about Stargate?
Oh, that it's going to leverage AI and produce, tailor-made cancer vaccines, this, that, or the other. And my sense is there's not enough humility in this presentation. There's not enough concern about us stepping into a realm we really know very little about. And that hubris is going to create a colossal error of some kind. And, you can imagine it. We've just seen a colossal error with vaccines. So, to have somebody saying, well, never mind what just happened.
Right.
Think about the possibilities
Also,
here.
hey, buddy, you going to make money off this?
Yeah, gee.
Seems like you're a super rich guy who likes to make a lot of money.
Likes to make a lot of money and has some murky connections to the deep state.